Welcome to Interro Bites. These are 15-minute videos taken from my long-form live streams. If you want to see the full video or more, subscribe to Dacquisto and check out the playlists on my main page. Thanks for being here. Enjoy.
So when you drove, what'd you drive? Your vehicle?
My car, my 2004 Nissan Sentra.
And you said you stopped in the suburb of Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that?
Can't remember. I stayed at a really crappy Days Inn, maybe 20 miles south of Atlanta.
$20 miles south of Atlanta.
Yeah, roughly. I could pull up a credit card receipt if you really need to know.
Pay with a credit card?
Yeah. Used my credit card on the whole trip. And I stayed with a very close friend up there and his wife. So I stayed at their house.
Okay. Okay, so if you just let me get a timeline here. So Thursday you started driving. You drove up to roughly Atlanta.
Yeah, about 11:30 I pulled over. Yeah, it's getting tired.
All right, what time did you get up and leave?
I left at 9 a.m.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause because there's been a couple comments here. Lady Cymbeline, he sent the Amazon book. He probably, or I forgot, my memory is terrible. I can't remember. He did say that. I think he said it was Saturday. Let's see, today is the 21st in here. So Saturday would be the 19th. So it may have been that he would have heard the news and been thinking, how can I be helpful? I mean, and then maybe ordered the Amazon book after learning. But that's again, many of these things we're just guessing on. And then Chimbo made a point. Why would he call a lawyer but not have one with him? Well, I mean, that's possible. That's possible that he might, and the lawyer might have said, hey, just, usually you'd want to have a lawyer with you, but especially if you're innocent.
Couldn't sleep that night. I was upset about Wendi. So I probably was out watching TV till 2:30 and got up at 8:15 and I took a shower, got out of there at 9.
What time did you check out? 9?
I didn't check out. Just one of those crappy food bag hotels. Just got out of my car. And I'm in Tennessee by 2:30.
And then when did you start coming back?
I left Sunday at about 10:30. Stopped in Kennesaw, Georgia to stay the night with a friend and just got back.
I talked to my boss as far as whatever you wanted to talk about off the record.
Yeah.
And she gave me the answer that I kind of expected she would. And ultimately, it depends on what it is you're going to say. Because if it's something that's instrumental to the investigation, it can't really be off the record because, I mean, we're trying to solve a guy's homicide here.
I know. It's hearsay. It's tertiary hearsay. I don't know if that's useful to you. I tell you something, somebody told me, somebody else told me.
Yeah, I mean, and you'd have to tell me what it was, and I would have to say, okay, is this something that can be excluded from the report, or is it something that's inculpatory? Is it something that...
Maybe I can just make it simpler than that. Maybe I can just say, I would be investigating Charlie Adelson.
Bam.
Okay.
Maybe it's that simple.
What makes you say that?
I just want to pause here and let this sink in. We are 12 and 1/2 minutes into this interview, maybe 12 because of the intro. He speculated about a boyfriend in Miami, and now he's just saying flat out, I will be investigating. That's a strong statement. I would be investigating Charlie Adelson. So he knew what was up.
And again, and here's another thing. We're talking to a lot of people here.
Sure you are.
And, you're just telling us what you think.
Sure.
And everybody else is doing the same thing. And
that's
that's
right.
okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is just get all the puzzle pieces before we start trying to put the puzzle together.
Yeah.
We're still in the stages of getting all the pieces.
I got you.
So why do you think it would be pertinent for us to investigate
Now I am I am using Mentor Lawyer's video. I did not put that picture up. Just saying I would keep Jeffrey's up.
Charlie.
He's very angry about Danny. And if you met, I know he's down there, you can't get him in front of you, but you're, experienced investigator. If you got in front of this guy, he'd set off your radar, set off mine. I used to do juvenile justice, I used to do forensic psychiatry. He set off my radar a little bit. He's a weird guy, strange guy. He's a conduct disorder kid.
Okay, he's saying he set off his radar. He's a weird guy, and he's telling the investigator that Charlie Adelson was a conduct disorder kid or child. That means as a child, he had problems with conduct disorder. I did look this up. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'm by no means a specialist in any of these things, but of course, Jeffrey would have known what that meant as a psychology expert. And I looked up what can cause conduct disorder, and I kind of rolled through what we know publicly about Charlie Adelson. And one of the things that really stood out to me is it can be relational family issues as well as genetics, but there are other reasons too. So I'm not sure if everybody knew that Jeffrey brought out, he knew enough about this family and he knew enough about Charlie that he knew that as a child, he was a conduct disorder kid.
And he hates Danny. And see if I can put it a little vaguely, or not, but just enough to be useful here.
Let's not put it vague. Let's go with what you know specifically.
Wendi had reported to me that Charlie had considered all the options possible to take care of this problem. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And when she said it,
when did she disclose this to you?
I don't remember when, but she said it was chilling because she said, "Can I tell you something confidentially?" And I said, "Sure." She said,
now something just as far as if we're looking at whether something is a truthful statement or not, this seems very truthful to me because as he's reenacting Wendi talking to him and he's saying, "Can I tell you something confidential?" He lowers his voice the way she probably lowered hers or the way he perceived it. So this is an indication, in my opinion, of course, this is just our opinions, right? That he is telling the truth. Can I tell you something confidential? Not, well, she told me something that was confidential. Very different. So he's telling the story and it seems very real.
I think Charlie kind of looked into some options, like literally saw how and why and how you would do this if you did it. I think this was last summer when she had a petition to relocate denied. That family wants her back there so bad.
Again, that family wants her back there so bad, as if he's feeling it. And this is obviously not a secret, but he is definitely coming off as somebody very legitimate and telling the truth as he's telling this story or these facts to the investigator. And he did not hold back. He was right in there. He probably had time to think about it on his way home. And like I said, maybe he had a time to even talk to some people about it, maybe even a lawyer.
And this is when she disclosed this to you, was last summer?
No. This is when
when
Charlie had been examining all the options.
Okay.
He's a very successful dentist, but he reeks of antisocial behavior. Now, I could be 100% wrong, but I wouldn't want to miss that if I was investigating it. He's got a close friend who's a ex-special forces guy, like a Navy SEAL or something he hangs out with all the time.
Okay, so again, he's saying he reeks of antisocial behavior. Now, a police officer might be like, well, you don't sound like the guy, but he is laying it out from his perspective as a psychology expert. So we have that. Oh, thank you for liking and subscribing. I appreciate you guys so much. It's a great community. Thank you.
What did she say to you specifically? I mean, when you say
she said,
all options.
she said, Charlie. I can't remember exactly. But it had something to do with the amount of money it would cost to have someone killed.
And what did she say?
Something like Charlie looked into how much it would cost to have someone killed. Something like that. Some statement like that. I can't remember.
Did she keep?
Again, when he's telling, he said, what exactly did she say? You can tell he's very truthful and he's trying to recall. And he's like, he said, Charlie. And then Charlie, he didn't even finish his name. He's trying to remember. And then he says, I can't tell you exactly. So he's being very truthful about what he actually heard and what he can recall.
Give you a dollar amount? Did she?
But that's the other thing. He's a dentist, but he's an independent businessman. He has a bunch of practices, and he's a Ferrari. I think he's a millionaire, all this kind of stuff. So he has a lot of resources. And wow, this might screw them. I got from me talking to him myself in the hot tub one time. From a few things Wendi said.
When was this?
March 15th-ish. I was there for the one day with him. I stayed at his house.
Of this year?
Yes. Wendi and him were talking. I'm just listening. I just met him an hour earlier. We're sitting in the hot tub having a beer. It's a really nice house. And I guess this is what occurred.
Yeah, and go Georgia. I mean, yeah, he also brought up he's just trying to come up with some ideas like what happened here. These are the things I noticed. Wendi had brought up Jeff being in the military, and now Jeff is saying Charlie links to military friend. Yeah, so he mentioned that he was a special forces guy, which, you know, has a certain image associated with it. So, yeah, and Jimbo, yeah, we're not really speculating his personal life. We're interested in what he's saying here. So, but thank you for your comment.
Was anybody else in the hot tub with you guys?
Not during this part of the conversation. Another guy, his roommate came in eventually, and then just started to talk about girls and stuff like that. But and I'm not trying to play cop here, but I do know one thing you'd be looking for is a lump sum of money moving around and some kind of crazy stuff happen. And I think there's a lot of financial irregularities. I think there's a lot of tax fraud kind of stuff, and putting stuff in different people's names and moving money around, and there might be cash. I don't know exactly what, but he's not doing anything on the up and up in his finances. It was pretty clear. He was pretty open about that. So I thought about it. If you guys do look into it, I don't know that.
How the exact conversation in the hot tub go?
He was just talking about, I put that in dad's name, I put that in mom's name, and it was just clear that
Hiding resources.
Yeah.
Monetary resources.
Yeah. So if you have to do an investigation, that's something you guys should know, because I think there's a lot of, I don't know if it's illegal, but I know there's a lot of, he plays the system, This guy's so inappropriate. We're sitting, please don't write this down. He's so inappropriate. We're sitting in the hot tub, and he starts talking about sex acts with his girlfriend that he did to punish her for bad behavior in front of his sister. I'm like, and I didn't know what to do. I just met him, protected with my girlfriend. This is just so weird, It's like this guy's, his social radar is way off. His sense of right or wrong, just norms is just off. He set off my radar. Now, I don't know if he did this. If you're looking at somebody, don't miss him.
These folks.
And I could also see him doing this without ever telling Wendi he didn't do it. I can see Wendi being innocent, puzzled, and Charlie did. I can totally see that scenario. He's very protective of her. I think that's more likely than romantic. All the romantic couplings are with highly educated, high elite status men.
You don't want to throw that away.
Who've got a lot to lose. I mean, she doesn't slum that I know of at all. She doesn't.
Well, I mean, this Charlie guy's a millionaire by your own admission. So
yes. Well, he is. He's got this buddy.
He's got a lot to lose.
He does. He's also really cocky and arrogant and narcissistic. So, I wish you had him in front of you, because I think he'd set off your alarm bells. That doesn't mean he did it, but he's aggressive. He's argumentative. Self-focused on himself completely. He's got 3 girlfriends at a time, which some people do that, I know, but no qualms about it,
So you think he may be good for it?
assuming this isn't a botched burglary or something like that. He's the first. Charlie popped into my head within 20 seconds of hearing this.
Charlie popped in my head within 20 seconds of hearing this. That's profound.